Hey guys, welcome to the unit on hormones and estrogen. Um, I'm really excited to be going into this because with overall health and wellness and feeling good, if we don't address our hormones and work to balance them, then it can actually have an enormous impact on our overall health. And it could be the answer to a lot of the things that you're feeling, but haven't quite got to the bottom of. So, this I'm excited for you to learn more about. There is a lot of information though, so just make sure that you take it slowly and just take in what you can, and you can repeat these units as well as long as you're in the program. So yeah, good luck. Now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so here we go. So like I said, hormones are a big part of overall wellness. Hormones are our chemical messengers that deliver the information from cells to cells. So it's made up of our endocrine glands, which are the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, the hypothalamus, the thyroid gland, your adrenals, your pancreas, your ovaries, and your testes. Well, yes, we don't have ovaries and testes. Some people do actually, but one or the other. So our hormones are secreted from these glands, usually in response to another chemical messenger that has come to tell that gland what to do. So it's this beautiful symphony and this harmony of hormones, chemical messengers that's sending these messages all around the body. So they have a say in what our temperature is like, how our metabolism is, what our fertility is like, looking at our sugar balance, our mood, everything. So there's so many things that the hormones are actually impacting. So you imagine trying to say get well, lose weight, get to the bottom of your headaches, and if you're not addressing the hormone system, then there can be a real disparage between you trying to move towards health and you not actually achieving it because you haven't addressed your hormones. We need our bodies to be if we want our bodies to be thriving, then we need our hormones to be humming. So there they are there. So I can't go through every single hormone in the body because we'd be here for ages and I'd literally write a book. So we're going to go through the ones that impact our health and our wellness in a way that is really easy for us to address. And then there's like a bit of a hierarchy. So what really is one of the biggest thing that impacts our hormones is stress. So cortisol is the stress hormone. So that impacts how all the other hormones are working within the body. We're going to talk about the thyroid. We're going to talk about the HPA axis dysfunction. Some people might know that as adrenal fatigue, but it's the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal, and how they work all together in harmony, and how that can be in dysfunction and cause a lot of symptoms that a lot of women are experiencing. And obviously, we're going to talk about as women, our most amazing sign for hormone health, and that's our menstrual cycle. So in ages, in those fertility years, and then we're also going to talk about menopause and perimenopause and how we can actually support that naturally. So if you want to skip sections, it's completely up to you, but you know, as I teach women how to, and men, how to understand the cycles and how the hormones work, then they can actually impart that knowledge onto others. So if you're a grandmother or you're a mother and you're out of those fertile years, then you still understanding how the cycle works is actually really important for you to teach your daughters and your granddaughters. So I would stick through it if you can, just so that you can learn and impart that knowledge on someone else. Okay, so what causes hormonal imbalance? Gosh, this is a big topic in itself. So the four biggies that can cause our hormones to actually stop functioning well and get out of harmony is stress, overloaded detox system, the gut health, and nutrition. So in regards to this, if we can actually manage all of these things, then our hormones are going to start to hum and hum beautifully and be really well adjusted in our bodies. So I've got stress up the top because I really think that that is one of the biggest ways that our bodies are impacted, and our hormones are impacted. So stress module was the one before this. So you have an idea about how stress can impact the body. If you started on hormones, amazing. Stress, oh gosh, where do I start? When we are stressed or have that increase in our cortisol production, then our hormones are actually impacted significantly. So cortisol is made from the same hormone that creates progesterone and estrogen and testosterone. So if we are in chronic state of stress, and when those cortisol levels are rising and the adrenaline is rising and it's never coming down, then the body has to utilize that mother hormone to create cortisol rather than creating progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen. So basically, in a stressful situation, our body wants to survive. There's just no reason for it to want to worry about fertility or your hormones being balanced or anything like that. Is literally only function in that moment is to survive. And when we're in chronic state of stress, it's the same. So if you're in a stressful period in your life and you're wondering why your hormones are not working, this is a really, really, really big part of it. And if you can manage your stress, your hormones will be happier. So for me, this was a really, really big part of my recovery. We went through some really significant stressful periods in our life, going through IVF, but also a really toxic work situation. And I was in a constant state of fear and stress, and no wonder my body was not functioning well and my hormones were not functioning, because this stress had a big, big, big part to play in my hormone imbalance. So take stock of what you feel in your life and look at stress as one of the biggest factors. If we can manage stress, then all the other things will start to flow. So yeah, it's a massive one. So just have a look at that. Overloaded detox system. So our liver has a huge part to play in hormone balance, because once our hormones are used within the body, it has to be detoxified and excreted from the body. So you've probably heard about estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance is where we have an overload of estrogen in our system. If our liver is constantly detoxing from the chemicals that we're putting on our skin, our makeup, our shampoo and conditioner, walking down the street and there's glyphosate being sprayed, we're using Roundup out the back, like all of these things accumulate. And if our liver is not able to function properly because there's a backlog of toxins, then some of that estrogen and some of that all of those toxins are recycled back into the blood. It can cause an imbalance in our hormones, and that is one of the easiest things that we can do to actually address by reducing toxic load. Hopefully you've seen the low tox module. If you haven't, it's coming up and it's a really important part for you to have a look at. And we give you loads of information about how to reduce your toxic load. But in regards to hormone balance, if we can move towards more natural, skincare, personal care, shampoos and conditioners, if we can move towards non-toxic cleaners like essential oils, and all of you would have got the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate, which is incredible. If we can move towards a natural medicine cabinet, so instead of putting Panadol in our body and Nurofen, we can actually use essential oils as our headache remedy, or if we have something like candida overgrowth or thrush, we can use essential oils and natural forms of our natural medicine cabinet to actually reduce our toxic load. Massive, massive part of hormone imbalance. So really, when you're going through this program, really make sure that you're looking at that over the whole 12 weeks. We don't expect you to get rid of it straight away, but it's that beautiful transition, and you get the wellness boxes delivered straight to your door, which are all low tox. So it just makes it so much easier. Made my life easier anyway when I first started using the wellness box system through doTERRA. Number 3 is gut health. So when we're stressed, our gut is not working properly. It's not absorbing any nutrients. If we are stressed, then we have an increased chance of an overgrowth of bacteria, which reduces that absorption of our nutrients. We need the building blocks for our hormones. We need a beautiful balance of omega-3s and omega-6s for our hormones to function properly. We need all the micronutrients to create the building blocks of our hormones. If our gut health is impacted, then you're not getting those building blocks of your beautiful hormones, and that can impact your hormone balance. So we'll go a lot more into this in the nutrition module with Tanya. She'll talk about gut health and nutrition. So really big part is looking at that gut health factor in your hormone balance. And then obviously related to that is nutrition. So really good quality building blocks is what we need to put into our bodies. Every single cell in your body is only made up from the food that you are eating. There's nothing else apart from vitamin D from the sun, but literally everything you put in your body creates your cells. So would you rather be made up of a whole beautiful color of vegetables, fruit, nuts and lean protein, or would you rather be made up of sugar and lollies and McDonald's and things like that? So it has a massive part to play, our nutrition. Also, all of those preservatives and additives can impact our hormone balance because they can create, xenoestrogens. Using plastics can create xenoestrogens, which mimics estrogen. So it can cause an imbalance in the hormones. So yeah, so that was just a quick overview of how our bodies can actually be impacted and how our hormones become imbalanced. But let's dive into video 2. We'll talk more about our menstrual cycle and how to track our fertility. So I'll see you in the next module. Yeah.